Who wanted the divorce first?
I did.
So what changed within 2 years? I mean, he left the home.
As in, he decided to leave the home, as in take his stuff and move out. The woman I was then is not the same woman I am now.
I really wanted to be a mother and a wife, and I wanted to have that title. I wanted to have that standing in society. I think the day I got to remove my ring felt so good.
Yeah. And marriage is for a purpose. There's a reason why he brought two people together.
I was going to ask you if you feel that you failed God from getting divorced.
I was obsessed with the ring for such a long time before having it.
Yeah.
And then I felt like it was a bloody curse on my bloody finger.
I was married for 18 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I've evolved as well. So
yes, exactly.
me, I'm not stupid though. I wouldn't be like, let me go pick the same person and do the work. I applaud the real men. It's not easy.
I just want to acknowledge the role that you're playing in my life and how good you make me feel and how soft I'm able to be in your presence.
Picking, like now you get to pick.
No, it's so fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love it, yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of More to Love. I am here with Nkiru. Hey. You don't know how excited I am to speak to you because I feel like, because you've been divorced, right? You've been married, now you're divorced.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're at a stage where you're very mature in the things that you've been through, and so I feel like this is going to be a really great conversation. I want to hear about some of the things you've learned, some of the things that you know you did wrong in your relationship, because we've all done stuff wrong.
Yeah.
And so I just want us to have a great conversation around all of that.
Yeah.
So first of all, maybe tell me about how long you were married for.
So I'm Nigerian, so we did a traditional marriage, and then we did the white wedding the year after.
Yeah.
So if I count the traditional marriage as well, for about a year, about 18 months, I would say in total, maybe 2 years. The reason why I say that is because we separated, and then it took me some time to actually get divorced. Yeah. So. Yes, I'm going to say 2 years married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that fair to say that?
Yeah, I think so. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. So 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know some people are going to say, well, that wasn't a very long time.
Yeah.
So why after 2 years did you think, what happened in between that time? So you decided to get married, then 2 years later you decided that this is not for you and you wanted a divorce. Who wanted the divorce first?
I did.
So what changed within 2 years?
No, you're okay. That's a fair point, actually. Because in my head, I know the full story. So I'm like, I mean, the length of the marriage. I think actually, if in reality, I'm going to say like 9 months. So then you think about, actually, I was just thinking, then you think about like people like Kim Kardashian that married for 90 days. And like, actually, no, I'm not going to stick this through. So from that point of view, I can understand why. Okay, short marriage. So. For me, it was, so my ex-husband left the home, right? So he left the home, and then it took me about 2 years to come to the realization that this marriage wasn't what I wanted.
What do you mean he left the home?
As in, he decided to leave the home, as in take his stuff and move out.
Really?
Yeah, and he did that actually when I wasn't even in the country.
So this took you by surprise?
Yeah, I had no idea. So it wasn't a conversation that we had.
So you didn't know where this came from at all?
No, we never had a conversation about we're going to separate and so on. He decided that he didn't want to stay in the home and left.
Okay. Was there tension in your relationship prior to this?
There was, like, in terms of arguments and stuff like that, but we'd never had a conversation where we were saying, is this the right thing for us? What are we doing? And so on and so on. So it was something in which where I think we both knew it wasn't right. The marriage wasn't working.
Yeah.
I, at the time, was in denial, very much so.
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't thinking divorce. Definitely wasn't thinking divorce. I was more so thinking it would get better.
Yeah.
So very much in denial about my current situation and about what it is that I wanted in a marriage. I had no idea.
Right.
But all I knew is that I didn't want what I was experiencing. And I hadn't had the right coaching. I had done no preparation.
Yeah.
So what I saw in my marriage, I wasn't prepared for.
Right.
And therefore, I took the flight rather than fight stance in what I was experiencing. So I can only speak for myself, because he will have his own reasons for why the marriage ended. And I think, but I initiated the divorce.
Okay.
And I think my sister had said to me, what done it for me actually, my sister had said to me was, because I spent a lot of time trying to get him back into the home. Out of desperation.
So you did fight then a little bit.
Oh yeah. But not fighting for the right reasons though. I was just like, oh my god, this can't not work. Right. Marriage cannot work for me.
Yeah.
Like, so I need you back in the home. I need everything to be normal.
Right.
But not actually realizing the best thing he ever did was walking away.
Wow.
Oh my god, hands down.
Really?
100%.
So you're happy that it actually ended?
Absolutely. Because in a way it gave me a chance to, because the woman I was then is not the same woman I am now, and had I stayed in that situation, I would have not been able to progress or grow, reflect, or do any of the things that I've been able to do since then.
Right.
So it's so interesting, because even in having this conversation, it steered in a different way. I didn't even think about the length of the marriage and why it actually ended. I know the role I played in the marriage. I know why it ended for me. And I can never really, because we never really had that discussion as to the demise of our relationship, where did that start from. For me, I know where it started for me, but for him I don't know. And probably will never know.
Do you feel like you have closure from that?
Absolutely. The moment you start to, I've got a vision board in my bedroom, and at that time I put the vision board together. I think it was at the start of my separation and the start of my healing, and one of the things that I put on there was self-esteem. And when I look back at that vision, because it's a life vision board, and I think, oh my god, you had no self-esteem. Like, how was that? Like, what? Because you put on high self-esteem as something that you aspire to have in your future. So you had none. What? Confidence, absolutely zero. You know? Standards, where? Boundaries, come on. Like, I had none of these things. None of them. I came into marriage with none of these things.
It's very interesting, because looking at you right now, you look very well put together. I know you have a great career because you're a lawyer.
I am,
So just from the outside, which is obviously very superficial, you look very well put together. I'm like, you must know everything. You must know everything. So how did you walk into this relationship and say, okay, I want to marry this person, and then get to a point where just a little bit later you get divorced?
Do you know what? I think young people generally, I wanted to have children. I wanted to be married. I wanted to be somebody's wife. I felt like I was very much made to be those things. Made to be a mother, made to be a wife. I wanted to make a home. I wanted to feel protected. I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to give love.
As we all do.
All of those things. So, but I didn't prepare for marriage. So my ex-husband, very attractive man. Aesthetically, you know, but is he my person? No. We don't share the same values at all. And I knew what my values were. I've been a lawyer for a very long time. So when I'm married, I was a lawyer. I was well established. I had a business. I had properties and so on. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I liked as an individual. And then I got into a situation where that became stagnant. And the best parts of me, I wasn't able to fully be myself anymore. I became recluse. You know, my friends and family would say, you're different. You're like different. Friends became distant because they wanted to respect my marriage. You know, and only until after the marriage had ended and I started to become myself again, they were like, oh my god, you're so much happier. Like, our observations of you at that time, when in the period of your life, wasn't great. Wasn't seeing a woman here that's flourishing in her current situation. And I think women have to be mindful of that as well.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, you said something really powerful there, which I think happens to a lot of women. It's so easy to lose yourself in marriage, where your focus shifts from being about you and about the things that you want to achieve in life to almost looking after this person and wanting to be this perfect wife, that we forget really who we are. And we become a mum or a wife, and we lose our name. We lose our identity. And then when you get divorced, it's like you're having to go back and you're having to rediscover who you are again. You're having to relearn the things that you like and you don't like. And so you have to be very, very careful that you don't fall into that trap. And when I speak to a lot of divorced people, they have the same issue. They've lost themselves somewhere along the line. And it's so interesting that your friends were able to see that, but they took a step back rather than trying to say, hey, are you okay? They took a step back out of respect for your marriage, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But it happens many times to many people, you know?
It does. It does.
Wow. Okay, so...
Well,
They're gone.
I was going to say, is there anything that I said that was in contrast of your experience?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely lost myself in my relationship. I lost a lot of confidence. I wouldn't say I was a fully confident person. But I was very young, so I got married when I was 24. So I was quite young. I was still in that discovery phase of who I really am, you know, the things that I liked. And so I got married at that stage, and things didn't get better, they got worse for me in that marriage. My light was very much dimmed, and I couldn't be who I really wanted to be. And I really wanted to be a mother and a wife, and I wanted to have that title, I wanted to have that standing in society, you know. And so therefore, to try and maintain that, I lost myself. And so I definitely relate to what you were saying.
Did you feel like, for me, being engaged and having the ring, I was obsessed with the ring for such a long time before having it. And then I felt like it was a bloody curse on my bloody finger. After, I was like, the ring, this thing. Do you know what I mean? And I just felt like, oh my God, we can get so caught up in the
romanticizing of the whole thing. Absolutely. And a lot of people do. When I see women focusing on, oh, I can't wait for the wedding day, and my bridesmaids are going to wear this, I'm going to wear this, I'm like, you've got it all wrong, because that's just a party. Your marriage starts after your wedding day. That's when your marriage really starts, and people get lost in that. And I'm like, no, you have to take it all the way back. So although for me, I really enjoyed having a ring on my finger, which it wasn't even about the type of ring, it was just so that I could say, I'm married.
My husband.
You know, that kind of thing. But that quickly
went.
Quickly.
That's same with me. And then I was just like, then it just became a
I think the day I got to remove my ring felt so good. It felt so good. Like, the weight I've been carrying, here it is, I'm putting it down now. That's what it felt like for me, you know. So there's something really powerful that you said off camera earlier. You said the woman that you are now, you could still be married to that person. So explain a bit more about that.
So what happened there is that I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I have always believed in God. I've grown up to believe in God. But my relationship, my intimacy with God wasn't really there. So what the divorce did was it stripped me of not idolizing the person, but the status of being married. Because I was prepared to bury my head underneath the sand to our problems. And not holding to account, or hold myself to account even more so, because this is less about him and more about me. And through the healing of that loss of relationship, the marriage and so on, I was able to reconnect from the grassroots with the Lord and build a relationship of substance, which allowed me to then look inwardly about myself, my faults, what I could have done better, how actually I can't blame him for a lot of the attributes that he showed in the marriage, because this is who he was, and so on. So it then looked at me as an individual. Where do I get my happiness from? And does it come from an outside source? So stripping all of that and realizing actually the most important relationship I will ever have is the one that I have with God, and then the one that I have with myself. And through loving myself correctly, I then am able to then deal with any other situation that is thrown at me. Because then I took it away from, it's not about my ex-husband, it's about me. and about my own peace and my own happiness and finding joy in life that God has given me.
Yeah.
And marriage is for a purpose. There's a reason why he brought two people together.
Yeah.
And then individuals have their own purpose as well. So you're meant to find someone that will allow you to fulfill purpose if you're a Christian as well.
Yeah.
And marriage is meant to be two heads better than one. That's why we're united in marriage, so that we can get to our purpose together.
Exactly.
Right?
Alignment, yeah.
Alignment. But you have your purpose. Your marriage is not the purpose.
Yeah.
You have your individual purpose. And God was probably looking at my situation and thinking, you're not even fulfilling your purpose.
Yeah.
I didn't bring you here to be doing what you're doing with this man. Kind of thing. Because even in divorce, I was like, then why did I marry? Because I'd be praying. So why put me through this situation if you're only going to take me out of it, kind of thing. And that was a big question I had at the time, because I didn't want divorce. I was very much like, I don't want to be a divorcee. So I had to be counselled on that element. I had to understand what God actually says about divorce, and not from other people. He had to minister to me through the Holy Spirit. Read scripture. He would direct me to the scriptures I needed to read about divorce. And it's very clear in scripture when Jesus is asked about divorce, he says, because of the heart of man is the reason why God allows divorce in certain circumstances, because of the heart of you.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you if you feel that you failed God from getting divorced, because there is a lot of stigma around people who are Christians and in church and then getting divorced. How did you feel?
Do you know why I haven't failed him? Because I've been able to do more for my purpose outside of my marriage than I ever was going to be able to do in this marriage. I started an organisation called the Brown Skin Girls Network. There was no way I would have been able to do that network, start that network. And the network came together because I was the one that then brought all the other ladies together. I wouldn't have had capacity to even have the insight or the vision to do something to help someone else in this current state that I was in. So no way did I fail. He's like, okay, now we're back on track. Now let me send you someone that you can now build more purpose with. Now let's do it the right way. Like, oh my God, the Holy Spirit continuously ministering to me about how I should live my life, because now it's not about an individual. It's about my walk and my fellowship with the Lord. So now everything is engineered towards that now. So even I was saying off camera before, like, I'm in preparation. I'm dating now. I have a really, really good relationship. And I'm like, I'm still in preparation. I'm reading about what it takes for a sustainable marriage. I'm reading about what it takes to be, a loving wife, a praying wife, like all of these elements. I'm going to YouTube videos and books and making notes and reading the Bible and asking questions. I'm like very much intentional about preparing for marriage. I had no idea before. And you said something interesting about therapy. It's crucial.
Absolutely.
Me and my current partner, we've spoken about, we have to do the counselling. 6 months of counselling before we even think about
very good
proposing. Before you even think about marrying, let's see how compatible and aligned we are about every aspect it takes to have a loving and sustainable marriage. Because that's what I want. I don't want to be in a marriage for the sake of being in a marriage. I want a loving and sustainable, successful marriage. And that comes from the work. Let's do the work.
Absolutely. So what would you say that you did wrong in your marriage that you are correcting in your relationship?
Putting boundaries and having a standard. I'm like, oh my God. Do you know why I say that? Because some people are like, oh my God, you didn't do that. No, I didn't. Unfortunately.
No, I didn't either.
Oh, did you not?
No,
okay, right. Some people, like the things I was asking for, when they, like, friends and family heard that, they was like, that's not a lot. That's not a lot.
So give us an example of something.
For the things I was asking for, being around your kids. Like, it'd be nice if you could spend time with your children and us as a family. That would be nice. I think that was the major thing for me, because I always and continue to have a very hands-on father. So I wanted that for my children. So that was the first thing. I had a list of things that I asked for, and if you're prepared to do these things or work on these things, I'm prepared to stay in this marriage. And he wasn't. So I was like, okay. And it made it so easy then to leave.
Yeah.
Because it was like, he's not going to do this.
He's told you as well. Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. No, you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Is what he said to me. You know? So it was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Asked and answered. Then I don't have to stay now because you've now told me it's not going to get any better than this.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, great. So in terms of the things for me, was definitely setting boundaries. Because of my professionalism and because of my profession, and because of how I've been brought up, I'm very independent. So my coping mechanism would be, I can do it on my own. Element. And then I feel like that actually contradicts what men feel like they don't want to be useful and do things and stuff like that. So I never gave opportunities for that to happen because I was very much like, and I also was of the opinion of, I shouldn't have to ask you, you should know. That's a huge one. Kind of thing. So if I'm like, I shouldn't have to ask you, you should know, and I can do it on my own anyway, then there's not much hope for you. There's not much hope for you because like, you're not going to tell me and then you're going to just do it anyway. So then I'm going to feel like I'm useless because you know, what am I here for if you can do everything on your own? So I get that element, and also I didn't understand men in that type of way. I didn't understand that that's how to better get the best results is to do things in certain ways. And I've learned from other women who have done that and been successful. So actually understanding the dynamics between man and woman, I didn't have. And then also on top of that, I think and then being able to communicate is a big one. I think communication and when to communicate
and comprehension.
Do you understand
what I'm saying to you?
Kind of thing. You know, and if it's as lame as it may sound, repeat back to me.
No, it's true, because that's misunderstanding, because I can hear what you said, but I've interpreted it different, so I haven't actually understood you. I've listened to you, but I haven't understood what you've actually said. And that's big. You know, I want to go back to what you said about you know, he said that he wasn't really involved in your children's lives like that. That is another thing that we don't talk about sometimes. How we want to raise our children when we go into marriages, because we have examples from our parents of how we were raised, and we assume that everybody is like that. And it's not necessarily the case. So some men might just be hands off, and that's how they believe it should be done. The woman looks after the children, and the man has nothing to do with it. He provides the money for you to do the food and, you know, the necessary things, clothes, shelter, whatever, and they don't get involved like that. And so these are some of the conversations that we also need to have before we get married. How are we going to raise these children so that when you do have your children, there aren't additional complications in the marriage? Because once you have children, that is an additional complication in your marriage. It doesn't help your marriage when you have kids. It makes it harder. You know, and so we need to have those conversations 100%, as well.
100%, and that's the preparation element. And that's why, you know, counselling, therapy, talking. Do you know what I mean? You don't even say, all right, must we go to therapy? No, but you could Google like questions to ask each other before marriage, and sit down with a, you know, pen and paper and be like, what was your upbringing like? Who raised you?
You need to do that.
That's a big one.
You need to do that.
That is a major one. Who raised you? Talk to me about, like, was mum at home, dad working, dad at home, mum working? What was, ask questions. Are you an only child? Like, what was that like for you? You know? More than like 5 siblings, what was that like? All of these things, because I think it gives you an understanding of the person you're dealing with.
Exactly, their background.
Funny enough, we did one session of marriage counselling actually, and in that was quite insightful actually, because it was in your household, how do you communicate? And it was like, do you talk loud, quiet, or none at all, or da 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 da? And we took opposite answers. So I was like, in my household, everyone's shouting. We shout to communicate.
Right.
You know, and it's very normal. So if someone's shouting and talking, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, what happened? Like, I'm not going to be frightened. I'm going to be very much like, okay, trying to get my word in.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're not going to be heard in my household.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's not a sign of disrespect or anything. In his household, it's very different. You know?
So you need to understand.
Yeah. So therefore, like, you need to lower your tone.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're shouting, it's disrespectful. And I'm like, no disrespect. Kind of thing. There's no intent there. And then also, they might not talk directly or share issues directly. In my household, we had family meetings all of the time, you know, and where we're all able to speak openly,
right?
You know, with each other, with respect, but openly. I can say to you, respectfully, you're wrong, Mummy.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and that's big.
Yeah, and we will have a conversation. Yeah. And we're all adults now, and we still have family meetings. Yeah. We're very close in unit because of that.
That's really good.
So that was just an insight straight away that actually played out in our marriage.
Yeah.
Where it was like, hold on, no. But if we'd done counselling sessions where we unpacked certain things, and then we then agree, all right, together we're going to adopt this approach.
Yes.
I've heard what you said, but I can't, that's not, so let's adopt like 2 octave levels when we speak to each other. Anything above that, we're not doing. Agree. Let's do things that we can agree on moving forward. Bank accounts. Let's agree that we will share our salaries. And let everyone know what each other's earning. Let's agree on that kind of thing. And be committed as well to the things, and consistency is key. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think straight away they're the things that I felt like, oh yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't know that. I didn't understand that when I went into the marriage as well. And my temperament was very much like retreat. I'd kept a lot of stuff in. I hardly ever
had the same issue.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think for me, I got to a point where I felt like this person wouldn't understand me. And so rather than arguing, I'm tired. Yeah. And so I just kept things in. It was just easier for me to keep things in than try to explain to this person why I'm feeling like this. And so I just shut down. I wouldn't speak. I just keep it all in.
Did you see any like red flags from the beginning? What was your how long was your marriage and your I
was married for 18 years.
Really?
Okay. We didn't even get there. I was
wow.
for a very, very long time. So that's what I said. Like for me, I know some people say 24 wasn't young, but for me, 24 was very young because I know where I was at 24 mentally, and I didn't know who I was. And so how can I request things from another person when I don't even know who I am? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so as I began to develop into this woman, I'm seeing that this person is not for me. Okay. And there were some toxic things in our marriage anyway. But I was like, this person is not aligned with what I want to do. There are things that I want to do. And especially having moved to Ghana, it made those things highlight even more. Where I was now coming out of my shell as a person.
Yeah. So when you said to me, "Oh, you're lucky you got out early,"
that was why I said it.
That's why you said it.
Yeah, because I'm like, I would love to be in your position where I was like, I did 2 years. I did 2 years jail time. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. Like, give me those 2 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll take that over 18 years any day. Yeah. Any day. Because I'm a totally different person. And contrary to what you said, I could not be married to that person as this woman I am today. Yeah. Faith or no faith, it wouldn't work.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, because we were in church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. And no, I couldn't do it. This person was not for me.
Yeah. No, when I say that, don't get me wrong. I mean, if I'd gone back, yes, maybe.
Yeah.
But whether that's I made the wrong choice in the person.
Yes.
100%. The person I'm with now is complete polar opposite to the person. But then also I've evolved as well. So
yes, exactly.
Me, I'm not stupid. I wouldn't be like, let me go pick the same person again and do the work.
And no. We don't do struggle mentality.
Yeah, we don't do. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, and that was another thing. Struggle was almost like the more you struggle, the more like that's the state I wanted you to be in.
Yes.
And I didn't understand that at all. I still don't understand.
Many women struggle in marriages and they don't speak up. They just feel like it's like a love language to them almost. It's like, I'm struggling in this marriage, but I'm going to keep trying to make it work because that's what I'm supposed to do. And they go through marriage and they're so unhappy. They've lost themselves completely, but it's a love language to them. It's like, I'm showing my commitment because I'm struggling, I'm still working through this. And it shouldn't be like that.
I remember one time I said, I wanted a dishwasher, for example. And it was like, no, can't you wash plate? I was like, why would you want me to struggle? Like that. I need to understand why you'd want my life to be harder. So it's not about finances. We can't afford a dishwasher. But you want to make sure that I am. Why? And that's one of the things I would say, like, now, and that's the confidence element in me now, which is to say to my partner, like, why are you not nice to me? Have I done something? Like, tell me, like, if it's something I've done, then let me know, because I'll fix it, because I don't understand why you'd be treating me. Why would you not want me to be happy and loving and soft all the time? Why would, like, what's wrong? That's what I'm saying, like, what's wrong? You should want me at my softest. Do you know what I mean? At my most feminine energy. So why would you want to take that from me? Why would you want me hard? Like, why do you know what I mean? Can you not see the glow? Why would you want me hard? Do you know what I mean? I should be like on tiptoes, oh baby. Like, not, why would you want me to struggle in this marriage, in this relationship?
It's true.
Do you not love me? That's the question I'd be asking my partner. Anytime you're spilling out something that is just to, like, why are you smiling? Like, why are you happy? Why are you joyful?
There's no need for
why
you to
are
be
you at
happy.
peace?
Like,
you hate me. Some people are married to men that hate them.
And that's not even a joke. That is not even a joke. It's the absolute truth.
And the thing is, like, how can you love anyway, it's so complex, because for me, if your wife or your husband is meant to be an extension of you, and all you're doing is pouring in hate to the extension of you, why? There's work needs to be done there.
Absolutely.
Work needs to be done there. Like, you can't see me and want to hurt me. You can't see me and want to cause me pain. And then say that I'm your wife.
No. That doesn't make any sense.
Or not care that I'm in pain. And then say that I'm your wife.
No. That's not an extension of you then.
No.
Unless you hate yourself too.
Exactly. Then also there's people that marry to... because I want to be, there's people that marry to be a husband, to not be a husband. I want a wife, but I don't want to be a husband.
You said it. Yes.
I said it.
Yes, she said it. That's true. I want a wife, but I love that you said that, actually. That's so perfect. I want a wife, but I don't want to be a husband. Ooh. Ooh.
Let's talk about that. Because I feel like, let's identify what that actually looks like. Because when you think, first and foremost, I've always said it to and I have great male role models around me. And one of the things actually is only in my singleton stage that I realised how hard it is to be a man, a real man.
Gosh, you're talking. I knew it was going to be a good one today. I knew it.
And I was speaking to my brother and my cousin, and I said to them, I applaud the real men. It's not these you. Because I'm like, I run my household, and I thought to myself, imagine if I had a wife that was sitting next to me in my bed. I run my household, I pay every single bill, I worry about everything that's happening with my children, like from car to water, mortgage, security of the house. I'm the one locking the doors. I'm the one taking out the bin. I did everything. And I thought, imagine if I had a wife next to me, like, baby, like, da 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 da. I'd be like, woo, girl, you need to calm down.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not easy. It's not at all. And I think as black women in particular, we need to give the black men in particular that are doing it grace. I'm telling you, grace, I don't think I really appreciated it that much. So if you're holding down your home and you're doing everything that you need to do for your wife and your children, you deserve grace. You deserve that recognition. You deserve that affirmation to say, babe, you are doing a fantastic job. And women, if you're in a setting like that, and you don't do that often, do it. Do it. Let your husbands know that what they're doing for the sacrificing they're making, and not just on their birthday or Father's Day, on a regular basis, lift them up. Because it's
so
not easy.
Important when they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's really funny that you bring this up, actually, because last night I sent a message to my partner and I was like, I really appreciate the man that you are, like the man who you are in my life and what you represent. And he was so appreciative of the text, and he was like, where did this come from? I'm like, I just want to acknowledge the role that you're playing in my life and how good you make me feel and how soft I'm able to be in your presence. And I'm just like, this is what we need to do more for our men, to just show them appreciation, because it's hard out there.
It is.
And to have a partner and look after your partner and do it the right way, it's not easy. And so we need to show appreciation, you know.
100%. And there's so, and I don't know whether that is missing, because sometimes you'd be like, well, build your husband up to be the husband then. But no. Sorry. No, do you know why I'm going to say sorry? Because I enter, you enter. So you mean to tell me I enter, I'm building myself to be the wife, and then I need to build you to be the husband too?
No,
I'm sorry.
That's like an extra child.
Like, because there are men that come into marriage and want a wife but don't want to be the husband. Right? So you're saying to me as the wife, I should build him into the husband. And I'm like, no, first and foremost, he should come into the marriage wanting to be a husband. Because he might not, it might not be for him. It's not for everybody.
Absolutely not.
You want the perks of having a wife, but you're not deserving of having. But you're not deserving. So therefore, you shouldn't really call yourself a husband.
Just don't get married.
Don't get married.
Just don't get married.
Like to me, it's just ridiculous how you could enter into a situation and not be prepared to be a husband. And what does that actually look like? So some people will say, well, what does it...
Some people don't know what it means to even be a husband. Let's start from there. That's where we have to take it back to. Some of us need training on what it means to be a wife and what it means to be a husband. It's not just, oh, we love each other, so we're getting married. No, understand what your role is and what it means to the two of you and how you're working together in that.
And then swap it. And then, because that's the part, you know when I said the preparation part? So rather than looking at, for example, examples in your community, whether that be your parents, whether that be like cousins and things like that, research actually, what does a good husband look like? You know? And then aim for that kind of thing, rather than, and then also what does a good wife look like? And then mimic that. Do you know? And then ask yourself that question, is my current partner showing me attributes of a good husband? You know, and address those things before you say yes to the marriage. Because if they're saying a good husband does X, Y, and Z, and you see none of these things, but because you're in love with him, you say yes to a marriage. Unfortunately, you know, you'll be sitting on this couch with us. We got a space for you right there, because you'll find yourself in the same situation. Like, you know, you'll be in a marriage, but will it be successful? I don't know. You know, and that's the reality of the situation, and vice versa with the wives as well. I think we're coming from a place where we've been, as women, with divorce and our experiences. But I'm sure with men as well, because, you know, they have their own lived experience about the situation. And I think for me, fundamentally, I can say that I picked the wrong person. So for me, we weren't aligned in what it was, and I knew that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even mature enough at the time in which I got married to say that this isn't for me. I wanted what I wanted, and that was it. And I got what I got.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And I got what I got.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very grateful because I have 2 beautiful children out of it, and I was able to build a relationship with Christ out of it. A deeper relationship with Christ out of it. And since then, I've been able to evolve and become more confident and more loving and more feminine and more soft and more together.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, before we wrap up, I really want to touch on the fun things about after divorce. Okay. So what it's like looking for a partner. What are the fun things that happened after you got divorced?
First and foremost, the weight that is lifted off you. Like straight away, you feel liberated and free. Yeah. So now it's like, what do you want? Yeah. So it's fun to now make decisions for yourself. Yes. And it's almost like, it's a great little do-over, because really think about it now, like all the stresses and the weight and the concerns and the sleepless nights and the anxiety and for some depression gets washed away. Yeah. But then now you're replaced with like this hope. Replaced with hope. Yeah. And it can become daunting, but I think embrace it. Embrace being, because for us, we have to remember we have only one life. And we come in and go out on our own, you know? So in that space, in the walk that you have, in this journey that you're on, you want to be able to say, I lived a fantastic and amazing life for myself, you know? Yeah. So the first thing you experience is that hope of something new. And then picking, like now you get to pick.
No, it's so fun, isn't it? Yeah. I love it,
So for me, I've always my dating experience has been great. It's been really good. I haven't had a bad situation. I've been on a few dates and I've had straight away, nah. Yeah. You know, kind of thing.
And you spot these things early on, don't you? You're like, no, this is not going to work. No, I don't want this. Yes. I don't want this.
Exactly that. And I think doing it later in life as well, you're not desperate, so to speak. Yeah. So the desperation goes as well. And especially if you've had children. And then you're like, and I always say, this may sound overconfident, but hey, I've got God confidence now. So I always say, I'm in a prime position. Come on. Right now, it will take a lot for a guy to be my guy. It would take a lot. That's how it would take a lot to be my guy, because I'm I travel when I want. My kids are okay. I've got my kids. I'm financially independent. I'm good. You know, I can look after myself. I'm healthy. I've got a really good, strong connection with the Lord. I'm prayerful. I'm at peace. I've got all of these things. So for you to come into my life, you've got to compliment. Yes. Not take anything away. The moment I feel you're trying to snatch something that, I'm gone. And I'm very much no noise, no nothing.
Yeah.
What are we doing, really?
Exactly. The freedom that it gives you, right?
It's nice. And then to also explore, have that moment to explore and practice. So, my first dating experience is, I used to practice being confident and, making requests for things that I wanted or things that I didn't like, and openly saying it, because that was one of the things that held me back in my relationship. I didn't know how to express the things that I wanted and the things that I didn't like. And doing that and seeing, and also knowing that there are good guys out there.
There are.
And that's another thing, because sometimes we live in the fear of, I'm not going to get better, either because we've been told that by our current partners or ex-partners, or you just don't believe it, that you're not going to get better. And that there's only one person meant for me, and I'm not going to be able to replicate that connection with anyone else. And that's a lie that the devil tells us in order to keep us outside of our purpose, in order to keep us in a place where we don't have an experience, an enriched and beautiful life, and we should cast that away as soon as we hear it. We should be able to say to ourselves, because it all starts in the mind. The battle is won and fought in the mind before it's done anywhere else. So you should be able to kill that from the root and say, no, I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of the love of thousands. You know, so being able to date and experience that, you know, and I've always been like, I suppose I've always been hopeful that I would find someone that would complement my energy. And I want to be a wife. I feel like, definitely, because people ask, will you get married again? And I'm like, 100%. I love being in love. I love playing that role. You know, I love the union when done correctly. So I'm determined, I want to do it in a setting where it's correct. And the things that were important to me before, like the lavish big wedding and all of that kind of stuff, isn't necessarily important to me now. It's not. It's the quality of the person and the relationship that you're building. That's the most important. And the only way you're really going to get to that point is in preparation and understanding each other. Exactly. That's amazing. I love that. This has been so good. Can you see the growth?
I know. No, it's true though. Going through a divorce will make you grow into this matured person where you now know what you want, exactly what you're looking for, and it feels wonderful. The liberation of the whole thing, you know. And so I love seeing how happy you are, because it's coming out of you. It's
really?
It really is. I can see it. I can see it. So I love that for you. And I'm really happy that you're in a nice relationship now. And are you gonna get married?
Hopefully. Okay. One day. We're gonna see it when we talk about loads of things. I mean, we haven't even talked about blended families and stuff like that. And you know, but that's the plan. I love that.
Dating
with intention.
That's it. Dating with intention is necessary. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for speaking to me today. I've really enjoyed the conversation. Where can people find you? And if they want to know a bit more about you?
Okay. So I'm a part of the network, the Brown Skin Girls Network. So on Instagram, at Brown Skin Girls Network. And then you can also follow me on Nkiru Linda Akoli on Instagram as well.
Awesome. So if we have like maybe single mothers out there, people that are going through divorce and they want to start a business and stuff like that, they can also come to you and join your network as well, right? Great. That's great. See? It's how we all help each other. I love it. Because I know when I was going through my divorce and I didn't really know what direction to take, having a network like yours would be amazing, especially when I know that I can relate to you on this kind of level, you know, open up doors. So
and I just think as also with my firm, so we're based in the UK, Titan Solicitors, so we have a family law department, and actually we specialise in divorce cases, and it's more so because for me in particular, I had to take the emotion out of it in order to just move past this process. It's also part of my healing. So the moment I decided to get divorce, I then went and saw a therapist, and I wanted a male therapist to talk me through. I need to be counselled through that process while I was going through the divorce, so that I'm healthy mentally. You know, because I'm looking after 2 children by myself. I needed to make sure that mentally I was okay to do all the things that we're juggling life. So I think, and I needed validation about the decisions I was making and whether I was doing the right thing, because sometimes, like I said, the battle was fought and won in the mind. Sometimes you think, am I doing the right thing? Should I do it now? Should I just endure? You know, my kids are young. Should I? Should I? And then to have someone else say, no, that's not right. And I'd be like, but I thought it was okay that this happened and that happened. And it's like, no, that's not normal. That's not normal. I'd be like, okay, right. Okay, and let me press on with that, because that's not normal. You know? And I think some of us, when we're in isolation because of the shame, but it's not our shame to carry. Jesus died on the cross for shame as well. You know, that we don't talk And if you can't talk to friends and family, then find yourself a therapist where you can talk through your emotions and what you're feeling, so that you can get validation and clarity in the things that you want to do, so that you move with purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Della.
Awesome. Okay, guys, there you have it. That's the end of today's podcast. So please go ahead, check out their network as well. It's a great network. I've just interviewed them on my other channel. They're doing some amazing things. So if you want to start up a business, you need some support, definitely check out Brown Skin Girl Network as well. Okay, so that's the end. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment and share this video. Until next time, we are out. Noti Papa. Awesome.